everyone, this is homework 6.2. Today we looked at several types of data representations. So this first one says the dot plot displays the number of bushes in the yards for houses in a neighborhood. What is the median? Well, remember the median is the middle number, so we can just we can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 5, 9, 12, 14, 15, 20. That means that there's an even number, right? So we're going to be looking at two middle numbers and taking the average of those. So I'm going to go cross off 2 from here, 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 cross off 2, cross off 2, cross off 2, cross off 2, cross off 1, cross off 1. So our two middle numbers are 8 and 8, which means that our median is 8 because 8 plus 8 is 16 divided by 2 is 8, right? So the average of 8 is 8. Of 2 eighths is 8. So our median then is 8. So when you have a dot plot, I would strongly just recommend that you kind of cross off the numbers as you have them. You can write them out. So you would have 5, 5, 6, 6, 6, 7, 7, 7, 7, 8, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, and then 5 11s. And so you can cross off that way too if it's easier for you to look at the data that way, or if you're looking at this, for example, on the CAPE in the computer screen, you want to just write them out. You can do it that way too to find your middle number. Number 2 says the data set represents the shoe sizes of 19 students in the 5th grade physical education class. Ooh, got some kids with some big shoe sizes here. For 5th grade, create a dot plot to represent the distribution of the data. So you are doing exactly what they did above, and you're making a dot plot. Notice we're looking here at whole numbers and half numbers, right? Because shoe sizes come in whole numbers and half sizes. So I'm going to, and we're starting with 4, and I'm going to go in even increments. So even though I don't have any 4.5, I'm still going to write that out on here so that we can show that there are no kids with size 4.5 there. And you want to try to generally make these as even as possible. I didn't do the super best job of that. But at any rate, we have one shoe size of 4. We have 1, 2, 3 shoe sizes of 5. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 shoe sizes of 6. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 sizes 7. We have 2 7.5s. It's Miss Lee's shoe size. We have 2 8s, 1 8.5, sorry, 2 8.5s, and 1 9. All right, so that's what your dot plot should look like for this distribution of data. Number 3, the data set represents the number of pages in the last book read by each of the 20 students over the summer. So we have 20 sets of data here. It says create a histogram to represent the distribution of data. So a histogram is looking at ranges. Let me draw my little line here. And it looks like I have 160 to 170. 160 to 400. So I'm going to break this up into hundreds of pages. I think that will work for this. You can decide how you want to do that. Actually, let's break it up into do 100 to, yeah, we'll do that. 100 to 200 pages, 200 to 300 pages, and then 300 to 400 pages, and then 400 to 500 pages. All right, so 100 to 200 pages, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books. So on this side, sorry, I should also make a y-axis here. Okay. We have Okay, so we have 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books that are between 100 and 200 pages. So that's here. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's going to need to go up to 6, 7. So 7 that are between 200 and 300 pages. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books that are within the 300 pages. That's going to be one that looks like this. And then we have 2 books that are above 400 pages, so that is going to be like this. Okay, so again, it's a range, and it's the books between that number. It usually includes the lower number and not the higher number. So it's from 100 to up to 200, from 200 up to 300. All right, in this case, none of them are evenly there, but you can get an idea. You could have broken this up into maybe 150 to 200, 200 to 250, 250 to 300, 300 to 350. You can decide how you want to break it up depending on how you want to show the data. 100 seemed pretty easy to do for this section of data. And then again, you just want to make sure that your totals add up to equal the number of data sets that you have. In this case, we have 20 in our data set. Number 4, each data set was collected from surveys to answer statistical questions. Select all of the data sets that represent numerical data. All right, so these are all statistical questions, meaning they had multiple answers for options, and we're looking for ones that represent numerical data. Okay, so A is numerical, there's numbers there. B is colors. C is numbers, there's numerical data there. D is numerical data. E looks like temperatures maybe, that's numerical data. F is not numerical. G is not numerical. So A, C, D, and E are all numerical sets of data. Number 5 asks what is the typical distance a moped can be driven on a single tank of gas? A statistical question. So I'm going to say yes, because we would need to gather multiple sets of data with variability to determine typical distance, right? And that would depend, each moped is going to have a different size of tank of gas, is going to have different fuel efficiency, and so we will get some variability in that. All right, your next 2 questions are park released items. For a school project, 2 students, Shona and Michael, recorded the number of text messages, each of them sent for a 60-day period. The box plot summarizes the recorded data. So this is a box plot. You saw those today. Select the drop-down menus to correctly complete the sentence. So the median of Miguel's data. So this is Miguel. Remember, the median is that middle line here. And Shona's is here. So it says the median of Miguel's data is at 40, hers is at 35, excuse me, which means that the median of Miguel's data is greater than the median of Shona's data. And then the range, which is the greatest value minus the smallest value, is, so her range is 60 to 25, which is a range of 35, and his range is from 55 to 25, which is a range of 30, which means that her range is greater. So Miguel's range is less than the range of Shona's data. Now, in this question, there was a part B, C, and D. You'll see those later as you learn more about box plots, but this is what we learned today, so that's what this part of the question is focusing on. Again, looking at the median, and then the range is the greatest value minus the smallest value. All right, this is the members of 2 cross-country teams ran an obstacle course. These are their times in minutes and seconds for Team R. This represents Team S. So as you can tell, there's only one question here, part A, but there is a part B, C, and D on this as well that we'll get into kind of analyzing this a little bit more. But to start, we're going to adjust the slider, right? So on your computer, you drag this up and down to the appropriate height. So we're looking at the number of people who are between 4 and 5 minutes. Excuse me. And so we're going to count those. So we have 1, 2, 3. Let's see, are there any other 4s? Nope, that looks like that's it. So you would slide it up 2, 3. Then we're looking for people who are in the 5 ranges from 5 to 6. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this one you would slide all the way up to that 8 bar. All right, 6s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Drag that up to the 6. And then 7s, we have 1, 2. Not that many people with that amount of time. And then our slowest person with 8 is only one of them. So we'd fill it in looking like that. Okay? All right. So that's how you would kind of use this to create your chart there. And create the histogram for that. And that, again, is a tech enhanced question where you're dragging things up and down on the computer screen for this question. Okay. All right. This last one is what we practiced today in your park station. And so this is adding and subtracting polynomials. In this case, we're subtracting, and that's like adding, you're just combining like terms. So subtracting, though, you have to subtract each term, which means you distribute that negative. So we'll rewrite this as 3x to the 5th power plus 8x cubed minus 7x squared plus 6x cubed, because this negative times a negative makes it a positive. And so then we can combine like terms. So 3x to the 5th power does not have anything in common with this one over here. So we're going to leave that alone. 8x cubed has 6x cubed as a friend, and it is plus 6x cubed because that minus a minus, so it's going to be plus 14x cubed. And so you might already see what the answer is. And then minus 7x squared. And so we're looking at C as our answer. And this is, again, an example, a real example of a park released item. All right, your code word for today shall be obstacle, since we learned about these obstacle courses. So obstacle is your code word for today. Write that at the top of your homework. Remember to work on your park packet. Work on the park packet. I will post 3 more questions tonight. All right, happy homeworking and see you tomorrow.